Welcome to Raleigh's ACC play, off and running. Night 2 of the conference. Georgia Tech, NC State, their 80th all-time meeting here inside Reynolds Coliseum. This is a battle on the glass tonight. Talia Walker, the best rebounding guard in the ACC, had a great game against Wake Forest Sunday. Her counterpart is the rebounding leader in the conference, Camille Pierre, the queen of boards, and a fun matchup on tap here in Raleigh. Welcome inside Reynolds Coliseum. Final game before the holiday for these programs. Wes Moore's Wolfpack, Coach Karen Blair's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. A lot on the line as we kickstart this opening week of the conference. Thanks for joining us here in Valvano Arena with Kai Crutchfield. I'm Evan Budrovich. The Wolfpack's most complete game on Sunday. 5 in double figures, put up 87 points. How do they continue that success tonight?
NC State is looking to stay dominant on those boards and in the paint. When they put up together a full 40 minutes, they're a hard team to beat. When the guards play free, it's less plays and more reads.
Georgia Tech led by the first-year head coach Karen Blair and 10 new faces for this program. How do they find some success here in December?
A significant roster change like this in the shifts in leadership. There's 3 ACC transfers who already know what it's like to battle in this league, and Coach Blair is still looking to put together those pieces. But you want to look out for Talia Walker. She's a matchup nightmare.
Karen Blair, the Brendan Freese disciple at Maryland, and what a battle on the boards tonight. Camille Pierre, we noted in the open, the best rebounder in the country. It's her team as well that steps it up. Look at these numbers coming in, Kai. Top 5 in the country in rebounds. What makes them so tough on the glass?
NC State's identity is simple: dominate the glass, and it's spearheaded by Camille, but Coach Moore is calling on those guards to crash the boards, hunt for those second chance opportunities, because points in the paint are the bread and butter for NC State.
The last 3 meetings have come down to 1 possession. Georgia Tech at NC State. And now we kickstart the last game before the holidays here in Reynolds Coliseum. And the Wolfpack start with it first on their home court. Fresh off a dominant win over Miami. Scored 29 in that first quarter. Set the stage for a convincing win. As Zam Jones goes right to the bucket. Red hot start again.
And that was a great read by Zam Jones. She saw that the defender was trying to force her to that weak side, but she did a smooth crossover and finished in the paint.
One lineup change for Georgia Tech. Kat Albin, her first start, the 5'7" point guard. And inside Walker, an early start.
Hey, that almost looked like the same play right there. Driving hard to the right side and finishing those paint touches. Both teams need to make sure that they constantly stay in tune with that help side defense.
Devin Quigley, the sophomore guard, her 4th straight start. And since Quigley's come in, this offense has found its rhythm.
And Devin has also found her role, you know, attacking crashing the boards like Coach Moore wants and knocking down those threes.
It's a team rebounding mentality for the Wolfpack. They're top 5 in the country on the glass. Late in the clock for Jones. Fires the 3. What a hot start for Zam Jones.
And you love how Zam, her energy, you see her smiling. That's the energy you type you need when you're going into conference play.
On this end, Georgia Tech's bench averages 30 a game. Can the starters find their rhythm tonight? Walker gets doubled. Terma's 3 was a bit off. Karen Blair challenging her team to shoot more threes this year. They're around 27% as a team. Not a big number early. Here's Zoe Brooke. The veteran leader goes inside, and her jumper falls a home bounce here in Reynolds.
You know, Zoe Brooks is so hard to guard, especially because she's so shifty. When she gets into the paint, you know she's looking to score. Record
watch tonight. Brooks now 17 points from 1,000 in her tenure. Here's Walker. Nice 3 off the glass. How about that?
And Coach said, I want Walker to shoot more shots. She makes it hard for the defense because she spreads them out. But
now, did she say off the glass, though?
Hey, the bank is open. It's not Sunday yet.
Hey, Walker, team best 15 at Wake Forest Sunday in a 1-point loss. Zoe Brooks sizes up a 3. A rare Wolfpack miss here in the first 3 minutes. Kat Albin pushes tempo. This is Moon. Tries the glass as well. Rebound Quigley. Wolfpack pushing tempo early at home. Jones 3. Well, how about that? Zam Jones on fire.
And you have to see that Zoe Brooks set that up. Driving into the paint in transition. In transition, you're going to clog the paint. But she saw that Zam Jones was out there and knocked it down.
Jones is shooting nearly 60% here in December, having a red-hot final month before the holidays. On this end, Erica Moon goes inside to Termas. One of the 3 returners for Georgia Tech. Walker late in the clock. She drills another three.
And that's the type of pace you're going to see as we start ACC play. Both teams have had a little bit of a rough start, and some games didn't go their way, but you see that they're starting to put things together.
And Karen Blair noted, I want more shots. Good early sign for Walker as that pass goes out of bounds. What does that mean as a shooter when a coach is giving you that confidence?
I mean, that just says a lot about this program. She's having to work with a lot of pieces, a lot of personalities, as she said. But being able to just trust in the players, not having as much experience either as Walker being a sophomore, that's a big shoulder.
Just 7 threes entering tonight for Talea. Good dish inside. Termes has it stripped by Caden Samuels. First minutes for the UConn transfer. And right now, it's the Zam Jones show in the first quarter. Pierre, good position, better pass.
And you like that wraparound bowling ball pass from Zam Jones. Pierre did a great job of shifting her off and was able to finish at the bucket.
No 7-10 split needed. How about that three for Deasia Thomas-Harris, the Katy, Texas product?
Hey, I'm going to need some water myself with this pace we got going on here, Evan.
Three-pointers barrage here in Raleigh early. Opening touch for Tilda Traeger, sophomore forward. Pierre attacks. Pierre uses the window wisely. And look at these old school moves from the pack.
Yeah, did you see how she kind of left the ball out open away from her defender and then finished it? I don't think that's called a jelly. What is that even called anymore?
Hopefully peanut butter jelly. Heck of a song, by the way, if you like EDM. Samuel goes baseline, and there's no room to operate. A steal for Pierre. Zoe Brooks pushing it. Brooks, no look to Traeger. Nice block by Termes. The Terminator. 10 new faces, including Samuels out of Boston College. Her shot's deflected. And now Pierre. Up and back pace, 5 minutes in. Samuels three.
Hey, if she'd have knocked that one down, this place would have lit up.
You can tell these players are ready for the holiday break. Back and forth through 5 minutes. It runs through Walker, who hits another three. How about 3 for 3 from deep?
Walker's really taking it personally. As coach said, I want you to take on more of a primary score. She didn't really have to do that in high school.
Talea Walker having a career first quarter. Samuel's turn. A good look. Now Samuel's pushing on this end. Termes left alone. Good look. Rebound Foster back inside Samuel for the bucket.
You see right there, NC State kind of started to leak out a little bit. It almost looked like it was about to go in, but you still have to stay active on those defensive boards.
Georgia Tech, best offensive rebounding team in the ACC. You're seeing why 6 minutes in. Brooks on this end. Good crossover. Gets some space. A miss. Samuel's on the board and is fouled. Leading us to this timeout, but a hot shooting start here early.
And that's exactly what you want to see from Caden Sanders. But then you see here, Walker in transition, even behind the screen. Termes does a good job of kind of moving Devin out the way, and she comes out. But then on the other side of that, Zam Jones knocking it down even when someone's closing out on her. This is going to be a good run here for these two teams.
Minutes in, Georgia Tech 0 lead on the Talea Walker show.
And I mean, Coach Moore singled her out on our coaches call. He said she's a matchup that can disrupt this NC State rhythm. Coach Blair said, I want you to shoot 20 times. You have the full green light, and she knocks it down. And she's been extremely efficient for the Jackets today.
4 for 4 start for Walker, and for two teams that are so good on the rebounding battle with Georgia Tech, their offense is clicking. 3-point shots has given them a nice start in the first 6 minutes.
And as a coach, this is the time that you want them to start clicking. Again, they had a rough non-conference in the beginning of the season, but they're starting to show it here today.
A difficult 1-point loss. Had a lead for 20 minutes at Wake Sunday. It came down to a last-second foul. Aurora Sorby hit the game winners. Wolfpack, meanwhile, led wire to wire at Miami. And Caden Samuels gets on the board for the Pack. Samuel is pressuring Samuels. That'll be a fun one to say tonight. And Samuel turns it over.
And that's something you like to see here. NC State adding a little heat. Usually they are on defense and they're a little more passive, playing the gaps. But then being able to come up and surprise them with that press, it shows the complexity of this team.
First minutes for Kaishi Lunan. Traeger's open. Both teams taking a ton of threes early. 6 triple for the Pack. Walker on this end hasn't missed tonight. Good look to Samuel. In front of Samuels, Pierre on the boards. Fresh off a 7th double-double. Nation's leading. Just a monster on the glass. She can also score it. Draws a double. Ask Westmore what makes Pierre a good rebounder. Said her hands. Elite at snatching the ball in the air. This trigger is off. There's a good fight for the rebounds and better box out there from the Yellow Jackets.
And I like to see how all the Yellow Jackets were in the paint there on the shot. I think they're in a zone right now, but forcing them to respect and knock down that three-pointer, I'm a little surprised by that because being in a zone, it allows them to shoot more three-pointers.
With Georgia Tech this year, defensive rebounding has been a staple. And Coach Blair noted, if we're not going to box out tonight, NC State's going to run away with this game. That's a good sign early for the Jackets, playing physical on the defensive end. First minutes for Brianna Turnage, the Florida State transfer. Walker dribbles into trouble. And a couple of Pack players on the floor. Lunan comes out with it. Lunan, the 4-star freshman, dazzled on Sunday. What a dish to Samuels. And she drills a three.
And that goes back to that team chemistry of them building off of each other. Lunan just knew that Kaden Samuels was right there behind her, and she knocked it down.
Turnage goes baseline. Samuel better cut. I like that vision there from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and that was a great cut by Samuel. She saw that her head was a little bit on a swivel, so being able to creep back door and put the ball in the bucket.
Maddie Cox dared to shoot. Oh, good response for the junior.
And the spark that Maddie Cox has had for these last few games for NC State, I mean, the fans just got on their feet.
Wouldn't you when you see a team shooting 4 of 8 from deep for these two? Good three-point shooting early. Brooks the steal. Zoe has numbers. Quick switch. Brooks for 3. And Snoop Turnage on the rebound. Turnage keeps going. Finds Walker. Nice pump fake and a foul. So free throws here for Georgia Tech.
NC State again. Lunan drives down, gets the helper to come out. Kaden Samuels knocks it down and follows her. And then Maddie Cox. I mean, how big of a spark she's been. And no one guarded her. I mean, look at the scout that from the last few games. How many threes did she shoot? Maybe 3. She made 3 in the last few games. So, again, closing out on defense and getting those offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities is going to help these teams.
Westmore noted his most important player here in December has been Maddie Cox. Here battling a flu the last couple of nights. Needed some bench production, and Maddie's done her part. A team that always dressing 9. It's not a ton of depth in terms of the total roster. And a free throw there. Walker continues her career night. 12 in this first quarter. Difficult pass. Here's the steal. Erica Moon. Running like a freight train through the paint. Looks to back it out. Moon baseline. Oh, Moon, filthy move, but no good. Hard to find that dark side of the moon on a night like this. State can really guard the paint defensively. Cox on the switch. Nice dump down pass.
And that's a great high-low there. People know that Camille Pierre is a threat at the high post, but then you can't forget about Maddie Cox down there in the paint.
Switching defense here for the Pack.
And again, pressing, slow them down, make the shot clock at your advantage. And there you go, forcing a turnover. If you force a turnover and pressure like that, you only have to play defense for 10 seconds. Again, high-low here. Maddie Cox seals her on that outside and finishes with that left hand.
That's 6 assists on 9 buckets. A coach's dream here early. Westmore not being a Grinch, pointing to his head. It's a play call. With Christmas sweaters abound in Reynolds. Good defense and a jump ball. Well, hold on. 2 officials confirming. Saif Esho talking to Katie Lukanich, and a foul is now called. Well, it should be the judge at home.
And the aggression there, you see Lunan drives. Oh, yeah, she wrapped it around her on the backside. I could see why the referee on the baseline may have seen a jump ball, but this referee right here closest to the table was able to see that wrap around on the arm.
That's Moon's first foul, so she'll exit. Kat Albin back in the game. Pierre, excellent position. The smaller Turnage gets a hand on it. Loose scrum. Two great rebounding teams, and the Pack on the floor. Samuels wants a timeout. Jump ball, possession the other way. What's the name of this game? Who can win the battle on the glass?
And it was a great possession there by Pierre, by Caden Samuels, and that was what Coach Moore was talking about. You know, when you see that they go and drive and get to the bucket, those different types of rebounds are just going to fall in your lap, and that's what happened to Caden Samuels.
There's a reason these two clubs are top 50 in rebounding in the country. They are ferocious on the boards. Even a loose scrum is fun to watch. Cat Albin backs it out. Good crossover. Albin shot long. It's the Zam Jones show late. Off a screen. Jones downhill. Jones to the bucket. Great speed.
And Zam Jones is just electric as she has been the past two games, even against Miami at the start of ACC play. Seeing how she's turned on her confidence here is great for NC State.
It's the Walker versus Jones show. The Pack up 6 here early. Home, including David Thompson. It was a legacy game this week for the men's program back in Reynolds. A little back-to-back hoops action. How about happy holidays? The puns are on display too.
Oh yeah.
And a fun battle on the glass early. NC State up 6. But when you have two great rebounding teams, Kai, it's been kind of scrappy, physical first 10 minutes.
And Coach Blair said, our job and our objective is to keep Camille Pierre off the glass. Haven't been doing, I'm sure, as efficiently as she wants to, but just the fact that they're competing shows a lot about the resiliency of these teams.
3 rebounds for Pierre early, the nation's leader in double-doubles. Look at those margins. Right now it's the Wolfpack. Sorry, Georgia Tech +1 on the glass, but the real difference has been the three-point shooting of the Pack tonight. So Jones out of the timeout. It went downhill a million miles an hour to end the quarter. Gets it back and fires a 3. What an Enfuego night.
And I mean, she's just on fire. You love how she shows her emotion while she's playing and then sits here, you know.
Offensive board, that's no good. And then Cat Albin tries to sneak in there. Foul on Albin.
And you know how Cat Albin, Coach Blair said, sometimes we have to tell her to slow down. Her 85% sometimes can be someone's 120%. So being able to shift gears and have different levels of play will help Albin here in this game.
Coach Blair called her a walking bucket, the Charleston Southern transfer, first team All-Big South a year ago. And that's a big jump from the Big South to the ACC. Now, Lydia Rivers at Radford went to Virginia Tech. They won a league title with Kenny Brooks. There's routes to do it from the mid-major level. When you bring in 10 transfers, that is a tough ask of the young Albin. Right now, Georgia Tech leaning on their transfer Walker, 13 early points. Traeger fighting for space. Jones down low. Perfect dish to Lunan. That's the ball movement NC State needs.
And it seems like every time Zam Jones touches the ball, she makes a play. She either knocks it down or facilitates for her teammate. You got to give credit for Lunan for knocking it down.
Here's a miss for Georgia Tech on this end. Just 2 points in the last 5 minutes of action. The Pack can't miss here late in this first half. Traeger inside. Turnage gets a hand on it. And Snoop to the floor. Turnage was the Robin to Tania Latson last year at Florida State. Albin lets it go. And Samuels on the board. This NC State offense, they are clicking. 87-point Sunday. They're on a roll here in this first half, and Cox goes inside for 2 more.
Again, Maddie Cox being that spark, being able to knock it down and spread out those stretch fours makes it hard for that post play for opposing teams.
Walker still can't miss for 3. 4 for 4 there.
And with the toilet bowl.
That's a fun way of putting it. Splish splash, hitting threes. Jones' turn. A rare miss for NC State. So it looks like the three-pointers are a big part of Tech's offense tonight.
And it's kind of the opposite, you know, as a scouting report. As far as them scoring, you see more points in the paint, more transition runs, and that aggression on defense.
Now Samuels has the Walker assignment. Here's a 3. Thomas Harris way off. And a nice team rebound. These are 2 physical rebounding teams. Hard to get a board tonight. Inside to Traeger, and she's fouled.
And Evan, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Georgia Tech isn't crashing as hard as they have been the last few games. I wonder if that's because maybe they're nervous about the transition for NC State, because that is the pace that they like to play at.
This crowd all cheers for Maddie Cox as she exits the floor. There's certainly a romanticized appreciation for her effort. You know, the folklore heroes that come in and out of the game.
And Coach Moore said she's earned her keep here. I mean, the first 2 years is kind of building her confidence, figuring out what her role is, and she's definitely earned it here in her 3rd year.
A perfect start shooting for Maddie, and then 2 more for Zoe Brooks. So what makes this NC State offense so tough to stop?
They're not being as stagnant on the offensive end as we saw in the non-conference, and then sharing the ball. They're being selfless, making the next pass and then knocking it down. But you have to be sure that, you know, NC State is just doing a good job of knocking it down with their efficiency. Helps
with 8 different players scoring tonight, and a foul away from the ball. That's on Zam Jones, her first.
And Zoe Brooks stepping in, heading it to Childress. You know she wants to shoot the mid-range, but nuh-uh. I'm taking it to the basket, baby. Knocking down that little fadeaway, kind of bumping it, absorbing the contact, and finishing on the glass.
I wonder how many off-foot leaning jumpers Brooks has in her career. I feel like that's a staple of her game.
And the double clutch, too. You can't forget about the double clutch.
That's an old school player out of New Jersey, bringing her style to Raleigh. The kickball keeps it on this end. And yet Brooks has been an ancillary scorer, just 4 points, right? Jones has shined, Cox has stepped up, Samuels has played better.
And I think that's what makes it hard to scout this team. I mean, it's anybody's given night on any day.
And players outside of Talia Walker step up. Well, that certainly helps. 18 for Walker. Sometimes you're 16 going on 17, but when you're on the break, you let Walker cook. Pierre is immediately doubled. Good pressure by Walker. Oh, Pierre. Wait, is that no, not a live ball turnover. It was tipped out of her hand. Better defense in the Jackets. Brooks with 8. Steamrolls downhill. Good dish. Trieger there.
And a great job by Trigger with being ready. It looked like she passed the bullet there through the paint. And then you have Camille Pierre hustling back in transition defense. That was one of the points of emphasis that Coach Moore had. And again, going back here, Zam Jones, when she touched the ball, it's just efficiency all over. I mean, then you have Tilda stepping here in the paint and being able to finish as that help side defender did not rotate over.
Termas, quick catch. There's a bucket. Remember, it's 18 for Walker, and then who else can step up tonight?
Right, and I like to see Termas get hot. Like you said, she's a returning person, making sure she sees that. Tilda, you know, it's a good matchup at, what, 6'5", 6'6"? So her stepping up, taking away Trigger, and then also being a threat on offense.
Now Termas guards Trigger. Inside to Pierre. Given a lot of space, and a walking double-double continues.
Camille Pierre is just so special. I mean, not even just with her rebounding, being able to shoot, you know, she doesn't knock down the 3 as much, but being able to do that little turnaround jumper and finish in the paint with contact.
A missing piece in the portal this offseason for the Pack. They needed some forward scoring. Now Crashaw goes inside. That's stripped. Brooks ran a little too fast.
She might need to take that with her, huh?
Here's Brooks again. Slowing down, speeding up, window work for Zoe Brooks.
And did you see how she stretched out those 2 steps? I mean, I feel like she started the first step at the opposite elbow.
I know Zoe's barely 20 years old, but she plays like a 35-year-old in the YMCA. So many unique moves for Brooks. His dad does work in the NBA. I can see the ties there. Here's Termas. Off on that triple. Well, NC State has neutralized Georgia Tech's strength on the board. Zam Jones just keeps cooking. There's 15 points.
Zam Jones is working to make her way to a first-team All-ACC. I mean, the way that she's really being electric for this NC State team, bringing them back up as ACC play. You know, going back here is Zam Jones just being able to be efficient. There you see Camille Pierre with the fadeaway, and then you see Zoe Brooks here driving, again, absorbing the contact and stretching out those 2 steps.
And nice Christmas sweaters on tap. Happy holidays here at NC State. These fans went all out. It was ugly sweater night. There's no ugly ones in my sight. Oh, eat yourself. That's pretty funny. Stitch, a fan favorite. Kind of thing catching your eye?
I like the Stitch one. I'd say out of Stitch, probably the Eat Yourself. I don't know.
And then look who made his appearance from the North Pole.
Nice.
Making his way down for some warm weather as the Pack are red hot shooting the basketball. I mean, when you're 8 of 9 in the quarter, everything's clicking here for NC State.
The efficiency, again, is what you want to see. I don't think Coach Moore is going to go into, this break here if they consistently play like this throughout the rest of the game.
Last 3 games, this Wolfpack offense has turned it on. Sam Jones, the hero early tonight. And yet not the top scorer. Talia Walker is 18. Pierre leans. Oh, that's just pretty inside.
I like how she can just stop on a dime and be able to kind of fade away to that little floater there in the paint.
Plays like a guard, but the size of a forward. That is a unique tandem.
And can guard 1 through 4, even 1 through 5.
Gives more the flexibility to run that 4-out, 1-in offense that Lisa Kanane was here, right? Deep runs in the tournament, Final Four appearances. They had size and depth. There's a block for Traeger. Look at this dish. Whoa, Samuels hangs on. What a connection.
That was almost like the Spurs offense there. Were there any dribbles throughout that possession?
Ball don't touch the floor, and it doesn't matter. Here's a 10-point run for the Pack. Man, that ball movement's going to make Westmore not a Grinch, but a happy camper this holiday season. Georgia Tech, no points in almost 3 minutes, and Moon comes right back.
And that was a great read by Moon. Tremis set a great screen, kind of had Sam Jones trying to figure out she wants to go over or under and being able to knock down that mid-range.
This Pack offense feels more like an October scrimmage than an ACC second game. Traeger again inside. There's 50 points.
And that score over the right shoulder, you brought up Elisa Kanane. That's exactly what Coach Moore talks about. He wants his post to do.
Foster goes inside. Good power dribble from Lanaya Foster, the Riverdale, Georgia native. Brooks in rhythm. Feeds Pierre. Pierre lets it go. Well, the bullet is a bit off.
I like how she backpedals with a smile, but then you have to make sure you close out here on transition.
Good dish. Walker, who couldn't miss in the first quarter, travels there.
I like the idea of Walker there. She's made a few threes here early in this first half. Shot fake, drives to the basket. I could see the idea, maybe even go to the rim, finish a layup, or pass it back out here.
Remember, Walker couldn't miss early, right? But as a secondary player, what's your role to support a top scorer like that?
Just make sure you shift and get open to those open spots. You don't want to stay behind her as she drives to the basket.
How about this passing from the Pack? Another bucket for Pierre.
Camille Pierre is such a core player here for NC State. Even going into the portal, they have a short bench, but you see that they haven't really subbed yet. But Camille Pierre being able to fight through that tiredness and fatigue and continue to contribute.
Just 3 subs tonight, but all 8 on the floor have made an impact. Foster steps into one. Ooh, and she knew that was off immediately. Traeger on the boards. What a connection again.
That was like the chip drill in football. I mean, we're in bowl season right now. Shout out to the bro for a pick. But, I mean, the fact that Camille Pierre stayed in tune with that ball there. But first you have Camille Pierre here posting up, keeping her on that outside and finishing with the leg. And then you have that great outlet pass there by Zoe Brooks and Camille staying with it even after the defender took the ball.
This passing makes NC State a dangerous team come March, and we're seeing it at the end of December here. If you're on double-double watch, already 10 points and 4 rebounds for Camille. It's hard not to be on double-double watch the way Pierre's played in these last 3 games.
Yeah. And again, Coach Blair said that she wanted to throw 1 or 2 bodies at her to keep her off the O boards. But the way that the offense is clicking right now for NC State, everyone has to be able to guard their man and box out their man.
Walker goes inside to Foster. These are the point-blank misses that'll keep this Georgia Tech coaching staff up at night. Here's Traeger. Looks to join the party. Kicks it to Samuels. Look at everyone touching it here for the Pack. And Traeger joins the scoring party.
And that's a great 2-man game there by Caden Samuels and Traeger. I mean, the other 3 were over there ready to help out, but they had handled it all on their own on this right side.
How about more assists in this game for the Pack than they had at Miami on Sunday? And we're still in the first half.
Right.
Checking a lot of boxes if you're NC State, looking to get back in the national rankings. 5 teams in the ACC currently there. As Albin swings it, here's Thomas Harris off on the 3.
Coach Moore wanting them to slow things down here.
You hear the huss of this crowd after a prolific first half. Brooks on Albin, couple of undersized guards getting after it. Zoe gets her switch and cannot win the mismatch. Walker on the boards. Georgia Tech going point for point with NC State in the first quarter, but all Pack here in the second. Albin off the pick is doubled. Finds Thomas Harris for 3. Air ball. It's been that kind of second quarter here for the Yellow Jackets.
And I know it sucks that you start the game out so hot and it slows down, but you have to figure out what you're going to do on offense to keep it back up.
Well, can Zam Jones orchestrate? She gets it off. And that ends the first half. A rare miss for the Wolfpack to close these prolific 20 minutes.
And you like to see how Zam Jones has just been the catalyst, but then you have to talk about her counterpart in the front court, Camille Pierre. The way that this offense is clicking for NC State, I'm sure Coach Moore is happy to see this as they build off of the game against Miami.
What a prolific start for the Pack. Zam Jones has 15. Camille Pierre in double figures. Everybody's scoring it early. It's all Wolfpack here in Raleigh. We'll be right back with halftime after this quick break. Welcome back to Reynolds Coliseum. Entertaining first half if you like offense. NC State rolling up 24. Their home opener, second game of league play. And through this last week, maybe no one better in the ACC right now at scoring the bucket. And then the Wolfpack is they lead by 24. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday night with Kai Crutchfield. I'm Evan Budrovich. 15 first half assists. What was making the ball move so well here for the Pack?
I mean, they're not being stagnant anymore as they were we saw in the non-conference, and they're just clicking on offense, and it helps when you're knocking down shots. The vision of this backcourt really was making this offense efficient.
It was everyone getting involved too, not just Zam Jones, who started the show in that first quarter, because you look at these assists, I mean, everyone's touching it.
And I mean, the guards are playing unselfishly, even the front court. Georgia Tech has to respect the guard play as they have to respect the post play, so it leaves these lanes open, and being able to knock down these shots just make it that much sweeter for the NC State Wolfpack.
And there's Camille Pierre closing out the 55-point first half, way shy of their season best. And Pierre's facial expressions would show you this team even putting on some smiles at halftime. Coach Moore challenged his team after a tough loss to Rhode Island. Could they respond on the offensive end? Well, these last 3 games, it's been clicking, certainly.
And you have to click at the right time. I mean, Coach Moore does say, hey, I have to figure out what it is that I can do to push them. Earlier in the season, they weren't shooting the ball as well. And you get frustrated with yourself as a player, too. So being able now to see that ball go down in the net, especially as we get heavy here in the ACC play, this is when the wins are really going to matter.
Talia Walker, meanwhile, 18. She's 2 shy of her career best. And that is worth noting. Most of that was in the first quarter. How do you find some of that production here in the second quarter, second half?
Just go back to what you're doing. You did in the first quarter. I mean, they were definitely efficient. It was a game of runs. Georgia Tech wasn't as efficient as they wanted to be in the second half, but getting the ball back to Walker and making sure that Albin consistently facilitates the ball, and even Moon. I mean, they're all quick, they're all shifty, so just trying to get the defense off of their feet a little bit and facilitate for each other to knock down an open shot.
Georgia Tech continues a murderer's row, 8 of the last 9 on the road. They're finally at home after Christmas to welcome the Wofford Terriers. But some work to do here in Raleigh at halftime. Here's Kat Albin's first touch, catch and shoot, short on the 3. It's hard to keep up with the pace of this Pack team, right? Bucket for bucket in the first, and then Brooks and company kept going in the third quarter.
And it's like, how do you slow it down? I mean, when they were going neck and neck, Georgia Tech was knocking down their shots. So now that they're not knocking down their shots, they have to get back into a rhythm.
You see LSU, right? 85 points a game leading the country. They have elite stars, but with this Pack team, yes, Pierre's a great player, but it's 4 or 5 girls who can get you 15, 20 points. Really hard to guard on a given night. As here's a fight for the boards, and Samuel saves. That kind of scoring prowess, though, it makes a team dangerous come March.
And being able to click now at the start of the ACC play, and there's a bucket there by Zoe Brooks. I'm sure Coach Moore isn't the happiest about that, but you like to see her stay aggressive on the offensive end.
Termas on this end. There's a good three-pointer in response.
And you see how she yelled. I don't know if that was a yell of excitement or like, thank you, Lord, I just made that shot. Let's get a stop here on defense.
Georgia Tech had missed their last 6 threes. That was a big bucket to start this quarter. I know defense wins championships, but how many times in the tournament you need a team that can put up 70 in the blink of an eye? That's what the Pack can do at ease. There's Traeger with another bucket.
And that was a little interesting shot. It was almost like a little fadeaway, but a step shot. I like how she's starting to be more efficient and show her personality a little bit here in her offensive game.
Because when UConn won the title last year, yes, Beckers was amazing, but they were averaging 90 points a game in the tournament. They were blowing out teams on the run to the title.
Right, and that goes back to how they're such a good program, being able to click early so that when they get into ACC play, get into March and April, they're like clicking like there's no cylinders.
Sam Jones just can't miss in this game. A rare missed three, and then a foul on Termas, boxing out Traeger.
And Traeger has been another counterpart for NC State in the paint, being able to start at the high post. And there's a little Dirk Nowinski there. I don't know. What you think, Evan?
I like that game.
Yeah.
I like how she's going. I was more a catch and shoot guy myself, so I don't know post play very well. Here's the defensive board for Kat Albin. Alongside a three-point markswoman and Kai Crutchfield, Evan Budrovich. Walker, a rare miss from 3 tonight. She started the game 4 for 4 for D. Had never hit 4 threes in her life at any collegiate game.
You want to see someone from Georgia Tech maybe step up and be a vocal leader or a lead by example. You see the energy's kind of been sucked out of him right now.
Traeger draws a triple. Brooks searches to operate. Pierre heaves. Fourth shot. Almost hit our camera off down there. He was quick on his feet.
I know Zoe Brooks kind of lost her handle there a little bit, but I would have liked her, even if she lost it, maybe get it back or just attack. You know, not as much crossover, just get downhill. She's quick enough to do that.
Foster immediately sprinted towards the boards after that shot. It's been that kind of game for Georgia Tech. That lost by just 2 points at Wake Forest. That was a tight game, 10 lead changes. After showing some great life early, just no answers for Sam Jones, the magician.
I mean, did you start off with the crossover? It almost looked like she did the Allen Iverson and touched the floor with the other hand. As you see, there's a turnover here again. Georgia Tech not really clicking how they want to on the offensive side. And again, Sam Jones, she's just electric on offense. Let's see if the hand touches. Almost. But again, a strong move to the bucket. She sees that no one on that opposite side came to step up, and she finished with the lay.
The Jones coming out party was that Oklahoma overtime game, but here in the last month, Kai, you make a great point. Maybe no one's scoring at such a prolific rate as Sam Jones.
And she's touching, anytime she's in the game, when she's touching the ball, it's either assist. It's assist and scoring, making the next play. Even if she's not on those two, she's helping with the offense. As Kaden Samuels knocks it down to get on the board, I love to see how she starts to turn more into a 3-and-D player, knocking down that shot and guarding that person, the head of the snake for the offense and the point guard.
Look at that ball movement, though, for the Pack. 15 first half assists. They are really dishing the ball at a high rate. A lot of pre-Christmas checklist items. A block for Traeger.
I think she might have just checked off one of her Christmas presents there with Tilda. And here again, the ball movement here for NC State. You go to in and out, paint touch, one more pass to Kaden Samuels. If you're on help side, it's hard to help and close out. But then you have the block here for Traeger. I mean, just being a presence there in the paint and not being able to, for anyone to say, oh no, this is Mutombo. I can't wait for her to do that.
That's our guy Tripp working the camera down there. You don't mess with Tripp. He's all business in the paint. Here's Thomas Harris for 3. At Georgia Tech in that first quarter, it was lights out from deep. It's been a real struggle to score coming out of the break and then into the break. And Pierre traveled on her drive to the bucket.
Looked like she got a little excited there. She's smiling?
Yeah, we've seen Louisville with this red-hot start at 2-0 for Jeff Wall's unit. But here are the Pack unranked, right? 3 ranked losses early. To your point, they're playing their best offensive basketball right as league play begins.
And you like to see that, you know, as a coach, you like to see that. Get all your kinks out earlier in the season. And I mean, Louisville, UNC, Notre Dame, these are all great teams in the ACC. It's a toss-up right now.
Yeah, the way Hannah Hidalgo is playing, you could just pencil in for Player of the Year in the league, right? But then who else can fill those shoes as Erica Moon misses? I mean, Jones is playing at a prolific level right now. And she's become an alpha on a team with a lot of betas, right? It was who could step up with James and Rivers now in the WNBA. It's Pierre's turn with another jumper.
And even right there, Camille Pierre coming in from the trail position. You know, she took one dribble from the paw here and it was able to get to the ACC logo. Granted,
it's the largest Wolf I've ever seen in a court. Logo threes mean a whole new thing in Raleigh as Brooks gets the loose scrum. This NC State offense is a thing of reckoning right now. Good strip by Samuel. Samuel weaves and runs into a Forrest. Traeger just robbed her at the bank. Took the credit card number, went for the social, and Brooks earns free throws.
I don't know. You might need to change Tilda Trigger's position there to point guard. What do you think about that? 6'6" coming down the court, facilitating Zoe Brooks shooting the free throws.
There's a new point guard leader in the ACC. I don't tell the Trigger running the break out of this timeout.
And you love to see how agile she is. I mean, at 6'6", being able to strip a guard down low and then push the pace here. And Zoe Brooks does a good job knowing and having the confidence in Tilda, saying that she can bring the ball down the court. And look at the teammates there saying, oh, I know Coach Moore doesn't let you do that in practice. Here's your time to shine.
The Swedish standout is adopting a new part of her game and enjoying some laughs. Hey, look at this balance of the Wolfpack team, right? 3 in double figures. We noted the great game against Miami. This is the formula that makes State a dangerous tournament team.
And they're hard to scout. I mean, now you have to allocate Tilda as a point guard, right? So back to all seriousness, being able to be efficient as they are in offense right now. Zoe Brooks knocking it down. That's one of the things that State did struggle with earlier in the season, not having a good efficiency on the free throw line. Those free throws are going to matter when you get down to March.
It's another 12-point run for the Pack. They're starting to storm away with this, and Kaishi Lunan will come in. So Brooks gets a break. They're the minutes leader in the ACC. Brooks gets a rare rest. She runs 37 minutes a night.
A lot of ice tubs and IVs.
I don't think that was part of your game. I don't remember how many minutes you played tonight.
About that.
35 plus? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a tussle with Thomas Harris inside. There's Pierre, 2 rebounds from her 8th double-double. Devin quickly back in the game. And a foul here on Pierre. Moore not laughing, Pierre laughing.
You see how she did not make eye contact with him when she walked by.
As Wes Moore's noted, there's certain room to operate when you're a great player, right? You do get a longer leash than other players.
Yeah. You know, it's a sliding scale going to that. You know, you may mess up the defensive offense here, but you knock down a 3, get an offensive rebound here.
Pick up a steal there.
Yeah.
The scale keeps moving. What a prolific offensive showing for the Pack tonight, right before Christmas. They will head to Davidson for a Sunday game. Pierre passes out of trouble. And a rebound for Walker. Remember, leading scorer on this court is Talea Walker, 18 very early in the game. Neither team could find a 3 in the second half.
Coach Moore doesn't seem the happiest right there. I mean, not a bad shot there from Camille Pierre, but being able to dribble down, and again, you have 4 and 5 players that can be a point guard on the court right now.
And this game has a little bit of a feel of a YMCA exhibition than a second half right now. Both teams going back and forth.
Maddie Cox a little late there over there trying to pick up the primary ball handler, and then Zam Jones coming in too. I think that was just a little breakdown in the defense, but you haven't seen much of those breakdowns here tonight for the Wolfpack.
Pierre subs out, and Traeger right back in. Here's Walker going baseline. Here's the next generation of point guards in Lunan, who stepped up in her last 3 games off the bench. Traeger's three.
And just by Devin Quigley crashing the boards there, I mean, she didn't get the rebound, yes, but she caused that disruption there from Georgia Tech being to push the ball down the court.
This is going on a 6-minute scoring drought for the Jackets. The Pack have really taken control in this second half. Lunen's turn. There's a three for Kaishi Lunen.
As a freshman, you come in. Coach Moore said, as a freshman, I know I'm putting a lot on you. It's a lot of transition and adjustment here. But I think Kaishi Lunen has done a great job of that, and just stepping in and being a spark off the bench this year.
Well, you did that as a starter at NC State. What's the key to sliding into that role?
Defense. Defense and rebounding. Even if it's crashing the boards, I mean, you being able to keep your defense assignment is what helps you stay on the court.
You played for a Sweet 16 team, a couple of deep tournament clubs as well. There's a kick ball.
Elite 18. I start with Elite 18 now. Elite 8, then Sweet 16. It's a little bit sweeter.
Make sure I say that correctly. Take a look.
Again, Zam Jones here pushing it. Kaishi sliding as she penetrates and then knocking it down. You love to see that, them clicking here on this court.
Georgia Tech will take the 8-day break. A lot of their players are flying back home tomorrow. A couple international players as well hitting the flights at RDU. A good 8-day break before Wofford looming. Because it is unique now in the last 3 years of the conference. You get a sample size of 2 games in the first week. And then what adjustments do you try to make if you're Georgia Tech coming out of the holiday break?
Just resetting, you know, that's what the Christmas break is for. It's good to go home, see your family and everything, but using that film as, you know, a learning lesson. Coach said we have, what, the 13th hardest schedule in the country, so they're all good teams that they're playing. It's just about finishing those games.
About getting that eggnog and hitting the reset.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite dish, Evan?
That's a great question. I like cake. Big dessert guy.
Oh, we can be friends.
Cox goes inside of Traeger. There's a dish for the big players.
And you see she got the sniper goggles there. I don't know. She looked like Isaiah James there with the sniper goggles, but you love to see the vision from Maddie Cox and penetrating until they're being ready there on the block.
Yeah, this Pack team, they kind of wish it was March Madness right now. This team's rolling. 16-point run. Walker misses another bucket. No points in 8 minutes. 7.5 minutes for Georgia Tech. Lunen got the ball back, and unfortunately Moon took a shot to the face.
She almost looked surprised at how open she was right there.
No, I think Moon said, hey, I got knocked in the grill. That's why he had so much space. The Atlanta native returning home. A lot of Georgia natives on this Georgia Tech roster. You like to see Coach Blair hit the portal, finding kids close to home. And a foul on the rebound. That's Savannah Samuel reaching in.
And that comes with a little bit of frustration. I mean, I know you're trying to be aggressive and get the old board, but then again, Maddie Cox, you have to give her credit for that box out as well.
Foul is charged to number 33, Savannah Samuel, her first, third team foul.
Closing minute of his third quarter, Zam Jones zips one across. Quigley involved. One of the few players not to hit a three for the Pack tonight. And there's a little bit of the green light conversation, right? If you're Walker, you've hit 4 tonight. You want her to be confident taking that three as Lunen eases in.
And that confidence with Walker, I mean, like you said, she's the leading scorer right now, but she can't do it all herself. They started to slow down a little bit as a team. Someone has to step up and take on that offensive responsibility.
The Wolfpack ended the quarter on a 20-point run. Impressive showing here in the third. Absolutely cruised in the third quarter, ending the frame on a 20-point run.
You have to see again how they're starting to continue to grow off of that efficiency, not only from the first quarter in the first half, but from Miami game. I mean, everyone's touching the ball. They're being completely unselfish and allowing everyone to get some touching in the paint and some balls in the basket.
This is what you want to see if you're NC State ending the year. I mean, 22-3 just doesn't happen, right? At any level. 6 players scoring in that third quarter. There's now 6 of them in double figures. And on the other side, remember, Talia Walker was the star of this first quarter, right? Kept Georgia Tech within a couple of points, but then not much production since.
And you have to give credit to the NC State defense. I mean, Walker is shooting the same shots that she shot in the first half, in the first quarter. It's just about knocking them down.
Adelaide Jernigan has subbed in, the freshman out of Winston-Salem, her first minutes. And then Mallory Collier will come down low, the junior out of Tennessee. So everyone's played on the packed bench tonight. Here's Collier's first touch. Mallory in a wrestling match that's doubled. Good block by Kat Albin. Jernigan lets it fly. There's a good defensive start for Georgia Tech here in the fourth quarter. Albin runs the break, and that's where Kat Albin can be special. And
that's the type of energy that you want to see from Georgia Tech, being able to get that stop from 30 seconds on the defensive end and then turning that into a possession.
I'd love to hear from Coach Blair as well. It's her defense that keeps Albin on the court, right? At 5'7", you've got to have a lot of skills, but defensively really good.
And a lot of heart. I mean, now you see that there are a lot of 6', 6'1" guards. So being that stature and still being able to guard out in the perimeter.
And then in the NBA, there's Luka Doncic is 6'9" running the point. A whole different challenge. Foul here. Only the 3rd free throw of the night coming up for Georgia Tech.
Coach Moore doesn't like fouls, though. He doesn't like fouls, and he doesn't like to use his timeouts.
So as Brooks subs out, it's basically a young pups lineup here. Free throws for Talia Walker. The fans are so excited here in Raleigh because 2 misses in the fourth quarter and everyone gets Chick-fil-A.
I don't see Walker missing much on the free throw line. I mean,
she was not missing in that first quarter.
Yeah.
4 for 4 for 3. That's a bright spot here for Georgia Tech with getting 8 days off and then Wofford looming. Jackets have Notre Dame next in the league, Virginia, Clemson, a couple of big home games in January. Oh, loose scrum. Now it's early in the league, but worth noting, right? Bottom 3 won't make the tournament, so there's a lot of more incentives to start fast, not fall too far behind in the standings.
Yeah, and I mean, last ACC tournament, I mean, the last one for now in Greensboro, but you know, even the local teams that started out in the ACC, it's like I'm not gonna let, you know, another team from another conference come in and bulldoze me out of the tournament.
That was a thriller last year when these teams met in a 1-point game, seeing Kara Dunn and Sanaya Rivers go back and forth pretty much that whole fourth quarter. As Lunan misses that jumper. There's Maddie Cox on the rebound. I'm not sure if Pierre will come back in the game, but she's 1 rebound shy of a double-double. And Kat Albin gets the steal. Oh, there's the speed of Albin.
Oh, yeah.
Earns a foul on Jernigan. Wow, when Albin kicks it into high gear, it's like a Maserati rolling through this court. You're not catching her.
I was going to say F1, but we'll go with Maserati. Here she is. She sneaks in again. At that stature, is good for her to go in and sneak in at those post plays, because when you take the ball down as a post, even though Mallory Collier did kind of fumble a little bit, being able to show her athleticism. Coach Blair said, hey, I think it was one day she might have got down the court in 3 or 4 seconds.
Albin is 73% free throw shooter. All money. A disappointed student section. Not much to be upset about if you're NC State tonight. They've been rolling from the end of the first quarter. On a night where Virginia Tech blows out Florida State by 25, big response, and then Miami squeaks out a tight win over Wake Forest. You're starting to see some separators 2 games in, and a foul here on the Jackets.
Yellow Jackets
That said, just 1-2-0 team. It'll be 2 tonight as NC State will get to that number. A lot of parity in this league.
And I'm excited to see further down the stretch. You know, well, NC State no longer playing UNC twice, Duke twice. So going into those rivalries that are out of state, who's going to step up? Who's going to be that person or that team that's going to be able to knock out the top contenders?
Good ball inside to Collier and a foul on the floor.
Maddie Cox a little upset for the no continuation on that nice post play.
That's her second personal, second team foul.
Westmore leading on his bench unit. 2 ACC games scoring near the 80-point totals. That makes the club very dangerous this time of year. Because Monday we have a women's basketball doubleheader coming up after the holiday break on ACC Network. Hannah Hidalgo and number 20 Notre Dame. They host Pitt in South Bend at 6 Eastern. Then India Navarre, Carolina against Boston College at the Connie Forum. Both games on the ESPN app. That Carolina-Louisville overtime thriller was fantastic last week.
It's like March and December.
Don't sleep on Laura Ziegler. She's been a big threat for Louisville coming in, first-year player. Partner of the lone 2-0 team entering tonight, and a foul here sends Quigley to the line.
You like to see the smile on Quigley's face there. I mean, even going to the bucket, not as efficient as she'd like to be, knocking down the three, but still having the confidence to drive and try to be aggressive on the offensive end for the pack.
Duke is up 30 points on South Dakota State, one of the best mid-majors in the country. Them and Princeton are right there in the national rankings.
Hey, I played South Dakota State in my day.
Kara Lawson's team, when they get locked in defensively, they are a unit. Toby Fournier, elite post player. The loss of Alucia Econo was big with her going to Maryland, but still some good guard depth as well.
Have you seen Tony dunk?
Oh, in pregame. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it looks so effortless.
Called their game against Norfolk State. She was amazing. Had a triple-double in that game.
Nice.
Six different Wolfpack players in double figures. As Thomas Harris can't hit that three. It's been a tough second half here for the Yellow Jackets. Here's Adelaide Jernigan. This whole crowd's waiting to cheer her on. The freshman three-point arsonist. Led the state of North Carolina in three-point makes a year ago in high school. Good and one for Kat Albin.
You could tell that they're on the defensive and defensive transition. NC State was trying to figure out who had who here. And you see Albin again showing that speed. Lumen steps up, but that step from Albin is so quick. She was able to get to the bucket, and now she's shooting one for the and one.
So all the starters resting for Westmore's unit. Big sigh of relief with semester finals coming to a close this week. What was your hardest final in college?
That is a great question.
They were so hard you forgot.
Yeah, biology was tough.
I took a class on earthquakes in college. That was interesting.
Nice. I had a class in beekeeping. That was definitely interesting.
Did you get to put on the bee suit?
No.
Well, you didn't get the whole experience.
Online. Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, online. That's not the same.
Took kickboxing and self-defense online too. That was awesome.
You're on that Matt Leinart cheerleading classes his senior year at USC. And a double dribble turns this over. So it looks like Coach Moore is going to let Pierre pursue her double-double. Camille comes in with 9 rebounds, 13 points. I bet the whole team just clears the way, right, when the ball goes up on the glass?
It's like the drill when you let it bounce once, except that bounce has to go to Camille.
We saw that in the triple-double pursuit back when Russell Westbrook was setting the 60 straight game triple-double. Here's a jumper for Charleston Southern's transfer.
I like how Albin has continued to stay aggressive, even though it's not necessarily in their favor, but she's continuing to show that she can be a scoring threat here for Georgia Tech.
Jernigan hits that three, and his home crowd responds.
Now, I like to see that. I mean, she was out here Steph Curry range, but, you know, seeing that she can knock down that three-point shot and still some confidence there as she goes into ACC play, now focusing in here on defense as she has a tough matchup with Albin.
Yeah, Albin's lickety quick and puts Jernigan to school right there.
That's some good film there for Jernigan, though. I mean, she was super deep here in the screen in the paint by the ACC logo. Maybe go over, but again, it's tough because Albin's so quick she can turn that corner.
Get a preview of next year's offense running through Kaishi Luden and Turnage with a block. And we'll take the timeout. Everyone hitting threes for the Wolfpack tonight, including Adelaide Jernigan.
Again, Adelaide being a spark off the bench, starting to get her confidence here, knocking it down. You love to see that everyone's touching the ball here for the NC State Wolfpack as they go up as we go into the break.
The women's basketball program, they were putting on caroling across campus. There's the wrestling team having some fun. Isn't this nice? Keeping the gymnastics program entertained, the boombox involved. It seems like a fun activity, but surprising the head coach.
Hey, I don't know, can you sing? Evan, I would like to hear the audio on this to see who has the actual vocals in order to be Christmas caroling.
Even the AD getting involved. Yeah, I'd love to hear the soundtrack behind this. You hear a little bit of it in the background.
We got some rhythm too, what about that?
It's been that kind of day for the Pack. Everything clicking. Led by as many as 43 in this game. As that layup comes up short. 6 in double figures for the Pack. Closing 4 minutes as the Pack are on the verge of a second straight conference win. Late in the clock for Lunan. Finds Quigley. Well, those assists just keep going. 22 dimes.
And again, the unselfishness of this team right here, making sure you get that paint touch. Anytime they're not stagnant, that's when this NC State offense really clicks.
3 assists shy of a season best, and they were rolling in that first half, moving the ball. Look at Foster drive it in for the rebound and then throws it away. Kick ball, Turnage, back to Foster. Good dish inside for Turnage. Well, that's just too easy for Devin Quigley joining the scoring group.
I like how Devin can score on all 3 levels. You know, you talk about that three-point threat. As Albin, I mean, knocking it down, being that spark, at least now Coach Blair can see, she already knew Albin was a bucket, but there's someone that can help walk her out as well.
Well, and Albin went 1 for 10 Sunday, right? This is a big response. Finding her a little rhythm here in the second half. Wake Forest shut her down. And a kick ball on Turnage. Jada Crawshaw will come in. First minutes for the Long Beach State transfer out of Australia. I know many of the players are flying home for Georgia Tech. I hope Crawshaw gets a chance to visit her motherland. Inez Naguero, Spaniard product, has been out the last 9 games. Be a good veteran presence to get her back in the next couple of weeks for Georgia Tech. As Lunan, the moon ball is off. Every time Maddie Cox touches the ball, this crowd just elevates just a touch.
That just shows about, you know, what she means to this NC State team. And you like to see how Coach Moore is still coaching. I mean, you're up how much, and you're still giving that effort to Devin Quigley. You know, that pass was a great idea, but I'm sure he'd like to see that baseline feed to Mallory Collier.
Well, Coach Moore noted that fourth quarter against Miami was not pretty, right? When you're up 30 late in the game, there's an element to how you close teams out, as Albin is cooking here in the fourth.
And I'm sure that's one of the things that he's going to talk about in film is, you know, you see that she's the hot hand. You have to run her off her spot. You know, she's that bread and butter is her mid-range.
You package this fourth quarter and the first quarter for Georgia Tech. This is an elite offense. As Jernigan has her shot tipped. Albin, oh, she's so fast. Makes fast people look not so fast. Jernigan cherry picking. Beats the defense.
And you like how she stayed in it, too. I mean, it was a little bit of a track meet there with Albin. Not even everybody got past half court, I don't think, but being able to stay in that play and be able to finish in transition. Albin.
Fun to watch, isn't it?
Man.
I love undersized guards.
Yeah.
Not a natural point guard, but having to play that this year off the bench for Georgia Tech.
And Coach Blair even said that she's really soaked up and taken the responsibility of the point guard position.
Worth noting, all 16 points for Albin in this final frame. Thomas Harris runs down the floor.
It really looked like Jernigan was going to go up and try to block that shot there. I'm glad she did, you know, leave it go.
Well, you're seeing what NC State can be when they click on all cylinders. All but one player has scored tonight, and Collier's the lone one not to do it, but everyone getting involved. Pack get 9 threes. They have 23 assists. It's a lot of good numbers late in the year. Man, the Albin show just keeps going. How about this?
And you see, you know, Snoop runs back smiling, just, you know, still being that light for this Georgia Tech team. They did come up short, but again, love to see that Albin kind of start to make it quick in this fourth quarter.
Closing out the holidays with a convincing win here for NC State. Loaded late in the clock. And her pass goes out of bounds. See if Albin gets one more touch at this.
Hey, it's 7 seconds. She can beat that run down the court.
18 points in the quarter for Kat Albin. Says, hey, why not? Going for 21. Well, NC State in total control. 2-0 start in the ACC at a club that's very dangerous right before Christmas. Wes Moore's unit, a wire-to-wire win, convincing second half, and it was all Wolfpack tonight.
And clicking on all cylinders, I mean, you love to see how NC State has definitely put all those pieces together. I'm sure there's a few things that Coach Moore is going to talk about in film as we go into this break. They have one more game before they go into break. But even, you know, in the fourth quarter, like you said, Miami not finishing out the quarter. In ACC play, when you come March, you have to be able to put together all 40 minutes to be able to advance when it comes March.
One of those games you can put into a snow globe and hope it repeats itself the last couple of weeks. Zam Jones is popping over here for some post-game thoughts. Convincing win for the Wolfpack tonight. Zam, what took over you in that first quarter? You were unlocked early.
I don't know. I think I was just locked in. You know, I came in not feeling so well, but my coach just told me, play your game, go out there and play your game. So I guess that's what I did for sure.
And let's talk about the facilitation. I mean, just the energy that you have just playing in general. I mean, not only just knocking down shots, but creating those opportunities for your teammates.
You know, I like getting my teammates involved. I feel like I like getting my teammates involved more than I like scoring. You know, I just feel happy seeing them score, seeing them hype. So I bring the energy every game. I'm just going to continue to bring the energy.
Wes Moore noted he needed to see some dog in you the last couple of games. Well, what shifted from your play here in December?
I say Coach Moore calling me Chihuahua. I don't like that. I'm not a Chihuahua. I'm a dog. I'm not no little Chihuahua. So I just say bring the energy every game, and my teammates and my coaches put the energy into me, so I just go out there and play my game.
Coach Moore said you need to specify what kind of dog.
Right.
What kind of dog is Buzz? Is Buzz a good enough dog for you to? Okay.
Buzz a little chill dog. I'm like a pit bull Doberman type.
Okay. No disrespect.
Nah, not right.
Zam, 6 in double figures for this team. What makes NC State so tough to stop?
We just share the ball. You know, we got many people on the team that can score. It's not just one person. You shut me down, you got Camille. You shut me down, you got Zoe. You just got too many people on the team that can score.
Enjoy this win and congratulations.
For sure. Thank you.
And Zam Jones getting her final thoughts on a convincing win for her Wolfpack club. Little pre-Christmas treat as NC State's 2-0 in the league. And thanks for joining us here on ACC Network Extra tonight. All Wolfpack from the jump. This team is rolling offensively heading into the holiday break, and they're back at home on New Year's Day. Thanks for joining us. Kai Crutchfield, Evan Budrovich with Daniel Zolfo running the show. That's a presentation of ESPN here in Raleigh.